Jalen Smith and Zac Collins have played well for the Chicago Bulls. We're going to be talking about what this means for the Chicago Bulls this season and how they could impact the Chicago Bulls moving forward in the offseason. This is your host, Rico Greenhowe, and you have found yourself on another episode of Bulls Digest. And so today, we are looking at the most recent play around Zac Collins and Jalen Smith and just really talking about their impact on the Chicago Bulls this season and how I think that this is going to help the Chicago Bulls maybe get a direction with this team as far as shaping out the roster. And so before we go ahead and jump into it, wanted to remind you here that 71.6% of you that watch are not subscribed to the channel. So make sure you go ahead and you slam dunk on that subscribe button for us, as it means a lot to us here at Bulls Digest as we try to reach our end of the season subscriber goal. And so with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the content for today. And let's start with Zac Collins, because look, Zac Collins has definitely played well. I think that he has really run with his opportunity, and it's been great to see, because initially when he got traded to the Chicago Bulls, he didn't play. But since he got into the starting lineup due to injury to Vooch, and then also to Jalen Smith at the time was out due to a concussion, Zac Collins has really run with this opportunity. We've been talking about his numbers over the last couple videos. Look, he had a double-double against the Raptors there, 15 and 13 against them. He had 21 and 17 against the Clippers, and then he had 19 and 5 against the Sixers. And just in last night's game against the Cleveland Cavaliers, he had 20 points, he had 12 rebounds, he had 2 assists, he had 3 steals, and he also had a block, and he was 10 of 16 from the field. And so I know he hasn't shot the 3 ball as well as of late, but still, he definitely can do so. And look, over his last 10 games, he's averaging 13.3 points a game, 8.5 rebounds a game, 2.6 assists, 0.5 with the blocks, 1.1 steals, and he's just shooting 24% from 3. I talked about how he struggled a little bit there, but overall he's shooting 55.6% from the field. So, just when you get past the numbers from the eye test standpoint, look, Zac Collins has done a terrific job as far as setting some great screens for our guards. I think that our guards have been able to definitely get to their spots with his screens, and I think that Zac Collins has done a terrific job as far as making himself available, off of these screens, and then really just putting the ball in the basket. I think that he's done a great job there, especially just really finishing through contact. I've liked that from Zac Collins. And another thing he has done is just really, he's bringing an element of physicality to this team. I think that that's something that is welcomed. We like to see him get in there and mix it up, and he's done that on both ends of the floor. And I just love the fact that he is getting the rebounds, because we've talked about this with rebounds. Look, it is important that if you're taking away the other team's rebounds, as far as, defensively, you're taking away opportunities where they can get an extra possession to try to score. And then offensively, when you're rebounding well there, you're giving your team an extra chance to score the basket. And so, look, Zac Collins has done a great job there. And he's also mixed well with this group. I think that he's mixed well with each and every guard on this team. Like last night, you got a chance to see with THT in action. He was fine. He still had a double-double. He's mixed well with Josh Giddey. That is a plus. He hasn't gotten in the way of Modest Buzelis. Kobe White has been fine with him. And then also, too, even Dalen Terry, we put him into the starting lineup last night. And then also, too, I talked about how he was he got the first assist to Zac Collins in the Pacers game. So, look, he has got a good chemistry with this group. And you love the fact that he is running in transition. He runs the fast break like he is a wing. I know he's not as quick, but still, he knows how to fill the lane, and he also knows how to finish. And he's been a terrific passer as well. Like, I think that he's terrific when he catches it at the top of the key, and he is finding cutting guards. And so that is good to see as well. And so there's so many things to like about what Zac Collins is doing. And the great thing, too, is that he is on an expiring deal of $18 million. And, because of that, I think that as he continues to really run with this opportunity, I think that the Chicago Bulls really have to consider maybe, giving him, an extension because I think that if you give him a short extension, I do see that he could be a part of your short window here as far as trying to patch up this front court and get this team in the right direction. I don't think that he gets in the way of this team as far as drafting another center. And he's shown before that he can be a backup. And he's also showing you that he can be a starter. And so, look, he's young enough. I think he's a player that fits with the style of play that you want. He's going to give you some physicality, which is something that we need with this team when we're talking about identity. And so I think that he definitely could play a factor as to how the Chicago Bulls really approach the offseason, especially if they are moving off of Vooch. And I think it's an added bonus when you start to look at a player like Jalen Smith. Look, Jalen Smith, I know he's averaging 8.4 points a game, 5.5 rebounds a game, 0.7 with the blocks, but he's shooting 47.5% from the field. And from downtown, he's shooting 35.3. And so that's a good number to shoot from three. He's also shown that he can fill the lane. He's shown that he can play with our cornerstone pieces, perhaps here in Josh Giddey, and then also too with Manas Buzelis, and really every other guard. I know he doesn't necessarily give you maybe the rim protection that you would necessarily like, but he can give you a presence there, and so you love that. And I just think that if you give him some extended minutes, he's responded. I've talked about the fact that he hasn't really played like 20 plus like that. I do think that with what we're seeing, I think if you do have to give him extended minutes, I think he'll be just fine. And I'm not worried, just as a Chicago Bulls fan and moving forward with this team, if they do move off of Vooch, if we have to go with Jalen Smith and Zac Collins, I think I feel fine with this team doing so. I think that both of these guys fit well. I think they understand, kind of what this team, needs to be and how they're trending. And so I like it. And I like the fact that they could help a younger player come along as well. And the thing that I love too about Jalen Smith is that he is already on a team-friendly deal. He's on 3 years, $27 million, which that looks like that's going to become a steal, especially if he becomes a very good starter for you as well. And so, I think that both of these players are players that are certainly going to help the Chicago Bulls, I think, get a direction here. And so let me know in the comments what you're thinking here. Do you think that, yes, Zac Collins should absolutely maybe get an extension with the Chicago Bulls moving forward here and really help this team kind of get this front court together and just really get the roster construction right? Or do you feel like, look, Jalen Smith is perhaps your starter. Maybe you do eventually let Zac Collins go and you get some more centers. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Just let me know. And as I always say, go Bulls, and we will see you on the next one. All right, guys. Peace.